Welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube. Moderating today are the lovely Honeypaw and the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, Honeypaw. Thank you so much, Dre. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. I hope you're having a smashing day, and I hope it continues to get better and better. We do have a premiere at 11 a.m. Pacific time today, so I hope you hang out for that. That's in just over 40 minutes from now. I have connected that premiere to this stream, so if you just stay through the end of the exit music, you should be put right onto that watch page, or at least a link to the watch page. I think it depends on what kind of a device you're on. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and choose all notifications. Our website is located at arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. Check it out. That's where you can get all your free courses, your free booklets, and listen to all kinds of free guided meditations, free lectures, and we have some articles and all kinds of other stuff on there. If you don't yet get our emails, you can sign up for emails on our website as well. You can get some inspiring emails, plus you'll get the announcements of what's going on at Ariel's Corner so you don't miss anything. While you're on that website, if you look in the footer of every page, you will see links to all of our social media, including our Discord server and our private Facebook group, which are two places that you can get extra support and also be more actively part of the community. We do have a chat thread open on this stream right now, so chat amongst yourselves. And if you have any questions for me, you can put it right in the chat thread, and provided I haven't gone too long, we will answer those questions before the end of the stream. Just remembering that we do have a premiere at 11. Our shop is at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. And we have some, what do we have, mugs and t-shirts. We have a couple of beanies. The hoodies are on their way, and then there's going to be some new designs within the next few days as well. If you'd like to donate to this channel, you can do that by going to paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga, paypal.me/Ariel Gatoga. If you're on YouTube watching live, you could use a super sticker or super chat if you feel like giving a donation on the platform. Or if you're on a restream, you could use a super thanks. We do appreciate your support, and we appreciate you for being here. Okay, I've done all my commercials. Let's get going. Today we are working Psalm 17. Psalm 7. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Today we are working Psalm 17. In Psalm Magic, we frequently hear about using Psalm 17 to cause any ill will toward you to be diverted, for understanding the eternity of the soul, and also for safe travel. Today we are going to use Psalm 17 to be delivered from any crisis. The way we work Psalm Magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm in question and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. We call this an incantation. After we've finished that, we go back through the psalm and we consider each verse one at a time. We search for those hidden meanings that lie behind each verse. And by searching for those meanings and then applying what we find to the situation we brought to the psalm, we are taking those seeds of magic that live within the psalm and planting them in the fertile grounds of our deep mind, where they take root, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is precisely what we are going to do together right now with Psalm 17. I don't like the wrinkles, sorry. Hear the right, O Lord, attend to my cry. Give ear unto my prayer that goeth not out of feigned lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me, and shalt find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy path, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God. Incline thy ear unto me, and hear my speech. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand, them which put their trust in thee from those that rise up against them. Keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat, with their mouth they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps, they have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in the secret places, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion, in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Starting out with, hear the right, O Lord, attend unto my cry, give ear unto my prayer that goeth not out of feigned lips. These openings in many of these psalms are similar, and they are formulaic. So the first thing we have to recognize in psalm magic is that the Lord is a symbol for the one power of the universe. And we have to always orient ourselves to that concept that there is one power, one source, one substance in all the universe. It has many manifestations. And when we say there's one, it's not monotheism in that our God is better than yours. It is omnitheism, meaning that there's only oneness, that all gods are one, all minds are one, all power is one, all source is one. And since there's one, there's nothing that can oppose it. There's nothing that can go up against it. And one with the source is a majority. And with this source, nothing can go against you. So when we orient ourselves to that concept, to that idea, and our mind is stayed on that thought, then we go forth with our spell with much more power, much more certainty. And when it says that the prayer goeth out not of feigned lips, that we're not playing lip service to this. We really are understanding that there's only one. And we really are understanding that we are an extension of that one force, and that our desire is a holy desire, and we are just as important as anything else. Let my sentence come from let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. So the things that are equal that we want the source's eyes to behold is the idea of equanimity. We want the idea of justice. We are bringing forth the idea that there is no order of difficulty in things. There is no higher and lower. There's no greater and lesser. All things are equal in the eyes of the infinite. And therefore, there's no problem that's more important than ours, but there's also no problem that's less important than ours. There's no person that's more powerful than we are, but there's also no person that's less powerful than we are. And that we are each unique extensions of this force, and therefore our desire, our need, what we are bringing to this psalm carries equal importance carries equal importance to anything else. So your solution to this problem is just as important as the sunrise. It's just as important as the birthing of a new solar system. That thou hast proved mine heart, thou hast visited me in the night, thou hast tried me and shall find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. The infinite sees you as you are, not as you're afraid you are. Our ego mind has a lot of stories built up about ourselves, and also a lot of stories built up about other people and other things. And these stories are based on the one idea of I am separate. And when you have this whole thought system and thus a whole world built out of the thought of I am separate, everything is fearful. Everything about that thought is fearful. But the infinite knows that there is no such thing as you being separate. The infinite visits you in the night and tries you and finds nothing, meaning that the infinite knows you as you are, not as you're afraid you might be, or as you want to appear to be. And the way that you are is perfect. You were created perfect. The infinite didn't make a mistake with you. Yes, you have an ego that makes a lot of mistakes. Yes, other people have egos that also make mistakes. Yes, we do cruel things to one another in this world. But from the point of view of the infinite, none of that happens. None of that's really happening. That's all within the realm of a big nightmare. And it's not the infinite's will that any of that happens. The infinite only wills that you be who you really are. And who you are is a perfect, unique expression, a perfect, unique expression of love, of power, of beauty. And think of all of the other attributes of the infinite. Those attributes also belong to you, and that's how the infinite sees you. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy path, that my footsteps slip not. So in other words, it's not only other people's ego that you're avoiding, it's your own ego that you're avoiding. All of the ideas that you are separate from your Creator, all of the ideas that bring about whatever this crisis is in the three-dimensional world that you're asking deliverance from. The first step to be delivered from that is to realize that in the ultimate, no, we're not saying it's not really happening in three-dimensional reality. We're acknowledging that it is. But in the ultimate, in the reality, in heaven, if you will, it isn't happening because it can't happen. Only perfection can happen for you. So when we're asking that we be held up and that our footsteps slip not, we are asking that we be guided while we are traversing through the darkness of this nightmare, while we are traversing through this problem, through this crisis, that we are asked for guidance so that our foot slips not. In other words, staying true to the path out of the illusion and into the truth. And the truth is that there is that the infinite doesn't will that you be in this crisis, therefore you can't be in this crisis. And so we want those thoughts to guide us. We want the infinite, who understands that this crisis isn't real, to guide us out of our experience of this crisis. Who else would we want to guide us? I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God. Incline thy ear unto me and hear my speech. This is an acknowledgement that we must make the first step, that we must begin anything. To accept that is the greatest act of power we can have. People who expect that the infinite will just do it for them, God should just fix everything for me, but I shouldn't have to be involved, don't understand the concept of free will. Don't understand that the infinite's not going to interfere with anything you think or do, or anything that anybody else thinks or does, unless asked. Because otherwise, we're nothing but automatons. We're nothing but robots. And we have no will. We have no volition. And that's not how we were created. We were created as perfectly free beings. And as a perfectly free being, we are free to make any kind of mistake that we make. We are free to think anything we want to think. We are free to have concoctions of the most dubious nature, if that is our desire. And the infinite stands by waiting patiently for us to awaken to the truth that none of that's real. However, if we ask for help, the infinite is right there. And the infinite will be right there because we are asking for it. And that's the whole idea of, I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God, incline thy ear unto me and hear my speech. The infinite is waiting for our call, waiting by the phone for our call. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand, them which put their trust in thee from those that rise up against them. So we're asking for a deliverance from this crisis, and we are acknowledging that that's the infinite's primary will for us, is that we be delivered from this crisis. That is what we both want. And since we both want it together, nothing can stand against that desire. And we're also asking that we have this grand judgment, this grand sorting out, this grand separation between that part of us that puts our trust in the infinite and that part of us that puts our trust in ourselves separate, our false selves, our ego self, which we are now coming to understand is the birthplace of all of these problems and all of these crises to begin with, that we put our faith in something other than the infinite. So now we recognize that when we put our faith in the infinite, we're also putting our faith in our true selves, our true will, and not this false self that we have concocted. Keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. That's a nice, beautiful way of understanding that the infinite loves us. The infinite loves you. The infinite's relationship with you is pure and constant love. There is no judging against you. That's not a thing. The infinite will never, can never, it's never going to happen, going to judge against you any more than the sun is going to judge against the earth. It's a constant, never-ending extension of love that is the identity of who you are. Your soul is a constant, never-ending extension of pure love. And anything that doesn't feel and look like that pure love is a concoction of the ego mind. Either your own separate ego self or you joining with other separate ego selves to come up with an idea that is not true, that isn't real. So this loving kindness is protective, wants nothing more than for you to be happy and completely removed from whatever this crisis happens to be. And will make that happen as long as you allow it, as long as you say yes. So this is a wonderful verse to remind us that we are loved, that we are protected, and it's up to us to say yes to that. Otherwise, it can't work. We can't ask the infinite to go against its own laws. So we have to be very clear that our free will is of utmost paramount importance. It's like the prime directive in Star Trek. And as soon as we allow ourselves to be taken over, if you will, by this love, once we allow this love to help us, once we, I don't like the word surrender, so I'm going to use a different word. As long as we give up our resistance to this love and allow it to work through us and for us, we will have the healing that we desire. We will have the release. We will have the deliverance that we desire. But to the degree that we are resisting this help, resisting this love, then we stay stuck in the problem because it's our right to do so. From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. Now, you may, in your crisis, have objective enemies in the three-dimensional world that are giving you problems. That may be what this crisis is about. But ultimately, what we're looking at here is the wicked that oppress us and the, The wicked that oppress us and the deadly enemies who compass us about are our own thoughts of separation, our own false world, our own projections of lies onto the screen of space that we interact with and try to prove and we try to prove that they're right. We try to prove that these false images that we project onto the screen of space are real. And we do that by interacting with them and believing in them. And now we're saying we're not doing that anymore. We're going to believe, instead of the illusion, which seems so real to us, we're going to believe in and have faith in the infinite. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly. That's the ego, and we do it all the time. And you know, the I'm not good enough, I'm weak, I'm poor, I'm nothing, I'm lowly, that is not humble. That is proud speech. That is being enclosed in your own fat and your mouth speaking proudly. Anytime you speak against the creation of the infinite, you're being proud and vain. And it doesn't matter that you're speaking of yourself. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it any better. So be clear on that. And to the degree that you're down on yourself, when you recognize that to the degree that you're down on yourself is the degree to which you are digging your heels into the problem, you see things differently. You understand things differently. And it's easier for you to let go of those false notions about yourself. And interestingly enough, when you let go of those false notions about yourself, you're less inclined to project those kinds of things onto other people, and your relationships start to have a harmony that they didn't have before. And those relationships, which are so toxic, tend to drop away. They either heal or drop away, because you're no longer reinforcing those false narratives about yourself, which are arrogance. Don't speak poorly about yourself, either in your mind or with your lips, because you are criticizing the infinite for not doing a good enough job with you. The infinite did not make a mistake with you. It's so important to recognize this, that you are not an error. You are not a mistake. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are perfect. Now, your ego may have problems. There may be problems in the storyline here, and that's fine. The infinite will heal those for you. But to the degree that you're hanging on to those stories because you're unwilling to give up those false narratives about yourself is the degree to which you are resisting the healing that you're asking for. So that's your job, is to let go of those arrogant notions about yourself. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a lion, excuse me, say that again. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. That's the ego. That's the ego mind. And this is your concoction. You have all the power over this. There's no Satan out there that's bigger and harder than and more smarter than you, that is waiting to catch you and bring you to hell. No, this is all you're doing. This is all you. You're so clever, and it's your own cleverness that you've learned to use against yourself, and you're not doing it anymore. You're not doing it anymore. And when you catch yourself being so sneaky about your own arrogance, your own puffed upness, your own willingness to put yourself down, when you catch yourself doing that, you'll recognize that it's an attack, and it's like a lion waiting to attack you. But you're doing it to yourself, and you're not doing that anymore. You refuse to do that. And you're going to catch yourself again and again when you see it, and you're going to drop it. You're going to stop being mean to yourself. You're going to stop being cruel to yourself, even on the level of joking. Now, a little self-deprecation here and there can be fun if it's understood to be that you know how, like, when you have a friend and they're a really good friend and you kind of make fun of each other. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong to do that with yourself. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about those deep-seated core beliefs that there's something essentially wrong with you. There's something essentially bad about you. That's arrogance. And those are those lions. And you're going to let go of that. And it's not going to be hard for you to let go of that because you just have made up you've made up your mind that you don't want to keep that. And when you've made up your mind that you don't want to keep that, the infinite will make sure it's removed for you because that's then your will. And the infinite is there to support your will, your free will. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Disappoint this part of my mind that's creating the opportunity for me to be in this crisis. And then you're going to disappoint the crisis and anything that goes along with it. This whole thing that I've brought to the psalm is going to be so disappointed and so deflated by the time the infinite's done with it. Why is that so? Because you've asked for it and you've given your permission. And your will is now one with the will of the infinite, and therefore nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. It's talking about how one way or another, each experience, each thought, each idea begets another thought and another idea. And that's the expansive nature of existence. It's the expansive nature of the universe, of which you are an extension. And just like the universe is expanding, you are expanding. And how you're expanding is up to you. It's up to you. Are you going to expand along the lines of the infinite's will for you, or are you going to expand your ego? Are you going to expand your crises? Are you going to expand your problems? And you get to decide. And you want to make sure that you recognize that you're constantly expanding. Things, in AA, they call alcoholism a progressive disease. The ego is a progressive disease. But also, God is progressive good. So everything is progressing. Everything is expanding. Everything is moving forward. Nothing is standing still. And when you realize this, you get to choose, what do I want to be on the road to? Do I want more? What do I want more of? What I'm focusing my mind on is what I'm going to get more of. So if I'm dealing with this crisis, of course I want to get more resolution. And then I want to get more good. I want to become more of who I am. I want to be introduced more and more to who I am as a soul. And then the ego starts to die because it's not getting fed, because the ego has no life force of its own. When we disregard the ego in favor of the soul, the ego has to shrivel up. It becomes nothing. It becomes nothing more than white noise in the background. And that's what we want to remember. Stop it. We want to remember that what we put our attention on is what grows, is what expands and moves forward. And we're going to put our attention on the infinite so that we can learn about who we are as a soul. And who we are as a soul doesn't have crises, is never in crisis. And so the crisis automatically resolves itself because that's the will of the infinite for us. And when we're aligned with that will, when we're aligned with our soul's will, what we call our true will, then we're also aligned with the will of the infinite, and nothing can stand against us. Okay. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. That's just such a powerful verse. You could just speak that. That's kind of all you need. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. When you behold the face of something, you are beholding the true identity. You are beholding an identifier. Just like we have facial recognition software, when you have like in your iPhone or whatever, it knows it's you. It can unlock the iPhone because nobody has your face but you. The face of the infinite is the identifier of the infinite. And the only way to identify the infinite is to identify the infinite as you, your true you. And who is the true you? Righteousness. You are created righteous. And who you are is righteous. And anything that's not righteous isn't who you are. but you don't have eyes to see the infinite to the degree that you are unwilling to look with the eyes of righteousness. If you're looking with the eyes of the ego, then you're always looking for what's not there. You're always looking for what isn't real. You're always looking in the world of shadow and darkness. But when you're willing to turn away from that and use the eyes that you were created with, those eyes will then behold everything from the perspective of righteousness, because that's who you are. And that's how you see the infinite face to face, because that's the infinite's will, is that you and the infinite are one. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. So you're going to awaken to the fact that you and the infinite are the same. You are the same. The only difference between you and the infinite is that the infinite created you. You didn't create it. You're an extension of it. But you create like the infinite. And your job is to extend love to the world just like the infinite extends love as you. And when you do that, these crises shrivel up and fly away. There's no life force left in them. And it's the primary magic wand that you can have, is looking at everything from the eyes of righteousness, because nothing can stand in your way. Nothing can withstand the power that is you, because it's real power, it's true power, it's your true self. And this crisis is nothing, because we're so used to thinking, little me, big crisis. And now we're being shown, no, it's big me and little crisis. It's nothing. It's just nothing. When you see it that way, that's the first step to it being dissolved for good. So you just keep coming back to the same psalm again and again until you get a sense in your heart that everything is working out. You'll get a sense of peace. You'll get a sense of certainty about the whole situation. And that little click that you get is an indication to you from your deep mind, you have cast the spell. It's a full thought form, and there's nothing more that you need to do. In fact, just go on to something else and forget all about it, and it will resolve itself. And you'll know that it worked, because it will show itself as the resolution of whatever this problem was. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, blessed be. Blessed be. Okay, let's see if we have any questions. We do not. Oh, we do. Dear Ariel, how can I best affect my deep mind in a positive way? Well, there's all kinds of ways to do that. I mean, we have, lots of videos on that. Just this, by the way, just this psalm. If you like psalm magic is a great way to affect your deep mind in a positive way. It's the whole idea of it. If you do it right, that you're contemplating these truths, and that's affecting your deep mind. You're planting those seeds right in your deep mind. But also visualizations, daily purifications, like in a witch's primer, doing those daily purifications are a great way to purify that deep mind. And also when you are working on things like spell casting, or even just the daily orb of light, that kind of thing, those sorts of exercises condition your deep mind to not being just one of the gang out there in the three-dimensional world. You're learning how to connect with your true self and do things that are powerful, rather than just feeling like you're a leaf floating in the wind, which is sort of what the demiurge of this world wants everybody to believe, that they have no power, right? So that anything that can get you in touch with who you are as a true self is going to affect your deep mind in a wonderful, positive way. So, it's anything that you enjoy, any technique that you enjoy. You may want to take one of my courses. Like I have that witch's primer course. That's a great way to learn how to condition your deep mind. Or if you like psalm magic, just keep working the psalms. That's a wonderful way to condition your deep mind. But there's all kinds of ways. I mean, the Solomon seals are a way that you can condition your deep mind. Angel magic is a way that you can condition your deep mind. I just teach all the stuff that I like. They're not the one true way or anything. That's just my channel is filled with the practices that I enjoy. But there's all kinds of ways that you can do it. Daily meditation, that magic minute meditation, that solar light meditation is a wonderful way to condition your deep mind. And it's very brief and easy to do. So there's a smorgasbord of techniques out there. Thank you so much for that great question. Oh, here's another one. How do you look at things through the eyes of righteousness? By asking that the infinite show you. It's a daily discipline. I'm going to start my day each and every day asking that the infinite show me the truth, and that I be guided each step of the way. And then as I'm interacting with things in my life, if I notice that there's an absence of peace, if I notice that there's an upset, I don't judge myself for it at all. But I do notice it, and I say, oh, if there's some sort of upset, if there's a lack of peace, then I must not be seeing things clearly. I must be seeing things through the eyes of the ego instead of the eyes of righteousness or the eyes of my soul. I want to see things differently. And then I just call upon the goddess or the Shekinah. That's the way I do it. But whatever works for you, just call upon your higher self, call upon your guide, call upon the creator, and ask to be shown. And you will be shown, because you've asked. And it may not be big, giant, dramatic changes right away, but the getting in the habit of noticing when you're off base based on how you're feeling, when you're feeling a lack of peace, noticing that what's contributing to that is that you're not seeing things as they truly are. And so you want to see things differently, and you ask for help. And when you ask for help, the help is given you. But if you don't ask for help, the help can't be given you, because that would be akin to an attack, and the infinite's not going to attack you. But that help can come in whatever form it best suits you. Some people it's a spirit guide or a spirit animal. Some people it's the Holy Spirit if they're Christian, or some people it's the goddess if they're neo-pagan, or many even non-neo-pagan craft traditions work with the goddess, or the Shekinah, or the angels, or your spirit guide, or whatever. However it reveals itself to you. But asking and getting in the habit of asking, and then little by little you start noticing that there's two ways to see anything, through the eyes of spirit or through the eyes of the ego, and you start to learn how to make those choices. And it can seem very subtle at first, but after a while it's pretty amazing. But it is a habit that you get yourself into. Let's see. Okay, those were great questions. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators. Today we had the lovely Honey Paw and the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, moderators. And I hope that I see each and every one of you over at our premiere in just 4 minutes from now. So we'll see you over there. Until next time, blessed be.